Hey guys, welcome back, squad members. What I want to talk about today is the my CST program or Combat Strength Training Program. A lot of you have inquired, so I figure let's put this into a mini block, and I could elaborate on all this stuff in detail via messages, or we can do a follow-up video because there's a lot of information here. So the evolutionary process kind of started shortly before I retired. I was already pretty banged up from the military. When I retired in '05, I retired with 4 reconstructive surgeries and 13 broken bones. I didn't want to be one of these disposable heroes. There comes a point where you need to start thinking about self-preservation and longevity. Stronger, longer. So I started developing this system prior to retiring. I got some instruction from a credible strength coach, Mike Gittleson, University of Michigan, Mark Twite from Jim Jones. And then when I retired, I started building this more and more, came up with the name Combat Strength Training. The recipe, or the main gist of it, is right here. Work in anaerobic chunks in circuit to near metabolic threshold to meet an aerobic goal. So this is time management here too. A lot of us don't have disposable time. We don't have time either to drive to a gym and spend an hour and a half there. My goal when working out is about 25 to 35 minutes a day, period. That's it. That's all you need if you do it right. This is a simple program, but it's not easy. All right. The other thing about this is the work week is broken down into 5 days. Power day, strength day, speed and quickness, hypertrophy, and skills. Now, if you don't have 5 days, a couple of these can be lumped. For instance, there's some crossover between power and speed of quickness, because power is rate of force production. How much, how fast. So if power is how much, how fast, strength is how much. So power and speed and quickness can be lumped together in one day, because no speed, no power. Additionally, strength and hypertrophy can be lumped together. Strength is how much, and hypertrophy is muscular development, building the muscles of something cool. All right. And then skills is just that. It could be your balance, hand and eye coordination, anything that you suck at, you work on skills day. See, we guys are very good at practicing what we are good at. So sometimes you need to recognize the voids. You need to challenge the body. You need to mix things up. Speaking of mixing things up, one of the beauties of this is I give you a lot of free information on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. A lot of different ideas. And I put stuff there in the notes for you. Like, this is a speed day, or this is a power day. Here are some examples. Because we don't want to get stuck in a rut and do the same thing over and over. Routine is the playground of a dull mind. And if you're doing the same thing over and over, you run into a rut of complacent adaptation where you're not making goals or gains anymore. You need to confuse the body. You need to keep changing things up. And when you change things up, what happens is you recognize voids in your system, or your combat chassis, which is what I coined the body, because a lot of that's just subliminal manipulation. You know, the body is our combat chassis. So what we want to do is retrofit that combat chassis so that it performs more efficiently at near maximum capacity. This is a performance-based training method also. Now, a lot of us are familiar with outcome-based training, which can be simply defined as execution with consideration of the consequence. Will I succeed or will I fail? How many, how much, how fast? Performance recognizes that we all perform differently, and performance can be measured by doing what we can with what we have. We're all different. None of us were born, or not all of us were born as speed runners. Not all of us were born with uncanny core strength, that kind of stuff. So work within your capability level. It's called fitness, not brokenness. We want to work within our capability level, and we want to make sure that we're doing stuff right, that we're doing stuff correctly. We don't need to practice a right way to do an exercise wrong. All right. Now, important here too, we want to work in the complete muscle spectrum range. Now, within the muscle spectrum range, what do we have? We have isometric, concentric, and eccentric. All right, so isometric, holding, concentric, constricting, eccentric, elongating. Nutshell version right there. Real important is this right here for me. This one's important. All planes of motion. A lot of us are stuck in a sagittalistic environment when we work out. That's a made-up word. Sagittal is a plane of motion. So sagittal is all here, straight forward, right? So that's one of the planes of motion, sagittal. Sagittal is all this way. Frontal is all this way. And then the last one transverse. So transverse is rotational, rotating on your center of axis. Now, it's my opinion that in the transverse plane lives life-saving and ass-kicking. I would consider it to be the most important plane of motion up here for self-longevity or self-preservation longevity. After all, there are 4 reasons why we should work out. Number 1, self-preservation longevity. Number 2, the ability to save your own life. Number 3, the ability to save somebody else's life. Number 4, kicking somebody's freaking ass. So life-saving and ass-kicking live in the transverse plane. I would say that it is the most important. Let me ask you a question. When we work out, when we exercise, which one of those is the most neglected? That's right. The transverse plane is most neglected when we work out. So do a lot in the transverse plane. Now, a lot of the demonstrations, like I said, I have on my Pat Mac YouTube channel or my Instagram. But if this becomes a popular topic, I will do some just for us, just for the squad. I will do a bunch of demonstrations. You know, I'll put a whole workout together, for example. But with power, what I want to do is I want to pick about 5 exercises, and I want to do this for 1 minute or 10 reps. 1 minute or 10 reps for about 5 revolutions, something like that right there, to bring me to my goal of about 25 minutes, 25 to 35 minutes. Because I want to do this right here. I want to work in anaerobic chunks in circuit to near metabolic threshold to meet an aerobic goal. Strength is pretty, if you have equipment, this is the day when you do your bench press, your squat, your pull-ups, your deadlift, your shoulder press, those kind of things. That's the day you would do it. And what I like to do is old-fashioned 5 by 5 by 5, 5 exercises, 5 reps apiece, 5 revolutions. Each revolution getting heavier until that 5th and final revolution, you're at maximum capacity, bro. Speed and quickness, similar to this right here. 5 exercises for 1 minute apiece or 10 reps for about 5 revolutions. Now, hypertrophy, muscular development, building the muscles. Hypertrophy is simple, it's just not easy. I do hypertrophy the way Gittleson recommended it. That's 20 reps. 20 reps to near failure. Now, with each rep, you want 2 seconds in the complete muscle spectrum range. So let's say it's a whatever it is, a bench press, since most of you are familiar with that. 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000. You can imagine that you won't be using a lot of weight. See, when it comes to muscular development, all your muscles understand is applied tension. That's all they know. So keep the tension on. After you finish that bench press, you would go right into a push-up. You're going to be able to do like 3 of them. So do sissy push-ups on your knees. Don't worry about your ego. Just put that aside. If somebody walks in, you know, your wife or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever it is, oh well. You know, you're working hypertrophy. Don't get your feelings hurt. And then, like I said, skills, just mix it up. I mean, I do a lot of balance stuff on skills day. I'll do a lot of bag work. Maybe get with an MMA coach and work on my MMA, those kind of things. All right, the last thing I want to talk about here is diet. People ask, that's a question I get hit up on all the time, is diet. What is your diet like? Now, To me, diet is pretty simple. I don't follow any particular diet that's written down. I eat food. Food doesn't come in a bag or a box. That is a product. So meat and veg. You know, if you stick with meat and veg, you're good to go. Eat good fats. Stay away from the crap. And how often do you eat? I don't know, when you're hungry. That's it. It's so freaking easy. Diet is so easy. The older you get, the more fiber you have to ingest. And this is the best tip that Gittleson gave me. When you wake up in the morning, go take your piss, drink a quart of water, power slam, because you wake up dehydrated. That will change your life, that quart of water straight off in the morning. And then make sure that you're staying hydrated, you know. I don't like to sip. I'm not a water bottle carrier. I'll power slam a quart in the morning, and then somewhere midday I'll power slam a quart, and then at night I power slam a quart. That's it. I just power slam. I just dump it down my gullet, throw it right down my neck like a man possessed. So that's real nutshell version with the CST program. Like I said, there's lots of information I put out there on all this stuff, so look it up and I will entertain any questions that you have. Thanks for listening. Rock and roll.